I really enjoyed the film. I'm sure you're going to hear that a lot today. I find comedy horror such a difficult genre to get right, but you guys have done such a good job. I just wondered if it's a kind of challenge to find that balance. Does it come in the writing stage or the editing suite to make sure the audience gets their sort of fix of both?
You're absolutely right. It is very difficult to do a comedy horror. And I think the issue or the challenge, I guess, is that you never want to be so funny that it doesn't, like the stakes don't feel real, but to make people laugh, like you really have to like take big swings comedically. So it was just kind of a challenge to kind of like straddle both like the suspense and the comedy and not let either one take over the other. And I think Tim was the perfect director because he does so many different genres and does action and does, you know, comedy a lot. So it needed somebody that could help us balance it because Dewayne and I were struggling sometimes with trying to figure out, is this too much? Because we love a joke. So we'll continue a joke for way longer than it needs to go. And then Tim was really good at being like, we don't need all of that. So, yeah.
So yeah, so Tim, you're keeping the horror in check.
Well, yeah, I guess sometimes what they, you know, as Tracy and Dewayne are sitting down to write, what they don't always either remember or have at their disposal in terms of is what these sets are going to look like and what the lighting is going to look like and what's the camera lens. They don't have all that stuff. So sometimes it might be a little bit like, oh, where's this going to go? But what's great is once they give me this blueprint, as they did, that I just thought was so like it was just perfect, then I could then find, okay, if we're going to do that situation, I've got to look for a location that's going to keep it grounded, that's going to keep it, you know, and as long as sound design and music and all of that keeps it really grounded, then it allows us to be funnier at times when maybe you might, you know, when they would ask, is that too much? Well, no, not up against this backdrop, it's not too much because while they're saying this, they're actually going to be in danger. And so once you're able to kind of bring all that together, it's I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier for me because they've given me the blueprint, and now I can kind of pair it with the all the other elements that are going to make the film work.
I mean, it does work. It's so funny at times, but it feels like such a crowd pleaser. Is this, I mean, a real kind of cinema film? How important is it to you both in the age of kind of streaming that this film is still getting at theatrical release? And was that something you guys had to fight for at all?
It's funny you asked that. I knew this was a crowd pleaser from jump. I'm just kidding, but we really did.
No, you're not. You said this from jump.
No, I'm not kidding. I really like theatrical experiences. I like group stuff. This movie is meant to be watched with friends, is meant to be like enjoyed and even be disrespectful and talk during it. And all of that stuff is actually encouraged in this type of movie. And we felt like we were leaning in like unapologetically to it being commercial and fun. And so when you say crowd pleaser, we absolutely were going for that. People miss these types of experiences in theaters. And I hope that The Blackening is just kind of a feel-good escapist. You know, you go Juneteenth weekend, you bring out your friends, and you just like have a good time. But yeah, that was deliberate.
I mean, there was obviously some of the jokes in there about kind of ridiculing the horror genre and obviously misrepresentation in the past. I mean, obviously the tagline, we can't all die first. But do you think in recent years, and thanks to geniuses like Jordan Peele, that the horror genre has become more accessible and the door feels more open than it used to?
I'd have to agree with you 100%. I think there's just kind of been this resurgence. And one of the things that we thought kind of was missing was something, you know, more comedy horrors or horror comedies. I'm not sure which one. I don't know which word goes first. We kind of thought there was a space to do this. And so, and I must admit, it's all on Tracy. Tracy was the one. I mean, even Dewayne gave us this nugget of perfection. And Tracy was the one who just knew it had to be something that was made. And she, you know, tracked him down. And then, you know, and together them bringing this amazing script together, it allowed me to, you know, also look at it and say, hey, let's go out and make something that we think will kind of bring the crowds back to theaters. Hopefully, I mean, you know.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it again when it comes out August, I think, in the UK. But thank you so much for your time today, guys, and best luck with the release of the movie.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey You Guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey You Guys!